Hey guys, you know that feeling when you get into a car and something just feels wrong? That's what today's video is all about. 3 true rideshare horror stories that will make you question every stranger you ever get in a car with. The night shift passenger. I've been driving for Uber for about 3 years now, mostly nights because that's where the money is. Bar crowds, airport runs, the occasional 3 a.m. trip from someone's girlfriend's apartment back to their own. You get used to it. The weird conversations, the drunk passengers, the people who fall asleep before you've gone 2 blocks. You learn to read people, who's going to be trouble, who's just tired, who's going to throw up in your back seat if you hit the brakes too hard. It's a skill, and after 3 years, I thought I had it figured out. I was wrong. This happened about 2 months ago. A Friday night, around 1:30 a.m. I was parked near a club downtown, waiting for a ping. The usual crowd was spilling out onto the sidewalk, laughing, shouting, trying to get rides home. My phone buzzed. Pick up at the corner of 5th and Main. A woman named Sarah. I pulled up. She was standing alone, maybe mid-20s. Nice dress, looked like she'd had a few drinks, but was still together. The kind of passenger you want. Polite, quiet, no drama. She got in the back. I said, "Sarah?" She nodded. I started the ride. The first few minutes were normal. She gave me the address. I punched it into maps. We headed south toward the residential area. She was on her phone, typing. I figured she was texting friends, letting them know she was on the way home. Then my phone buzzed. Not the Uber app, a text message from an unknown number. I glanced at it while stopped at a light. It said, "That's not my girlfriend. I never booked this ride. Drive to the police station." I read it twice. My stomach did that thing where it just drops. I looked in the rear-view mirror. She was still on her phone, typing. Her face was calm, expressionless. She didn't look up. Another buzz. "The guy who booked this, me, my girlfriend, stole my phone. She's in your car. She's making me watch from my computer. She's crazy. Don't let her know you know." I felt cold. Actually cold, like someone had dropped the temperature in the car by 10 degrees. I kept driving. What else could I do? If I stopped, if I said something, what would she do? I had no idea who she was, what she was capable of. She was just sitting there, typing, calm as anything. Another text. "She has a knife. I saw it in her bag before she left. Please, drive to the police station on Grand. It's 2 miles from your route. Just pull in. I'm begging you." I looked in the mirror again. This time, she was looking at me. Not at her phone. At me. In the mirror. Staring. And she smiled. Just a little. Like she knew. I said, "Everything okay back there?" She said,
"Fine. Just texting my boyfriend. Sometimes he gets worried."
I nodded, kept driving. My hands were sweating on the wheel. The police station was coming up in about a mile. I had to decide, do I follow the texts? Do I pull in? What if this was some kind of prank? What if the guy was the crazy one? Another text. "She knows. I can see her on the map. She's looking at her phone and smiling. She knows I'm texting you. If you don't go to the police, I don't know what she'll do." I made my decision. At the next light, I turned left, not toward her address, toward Grand Street, toward the station. She said,
"This isn't the way."
I said, detour. Road construction up ahead. GPS is rerouting." She didn't say anything, just stared at me in the mirror. I could see the station now. 2 blocks away, lights on, cruisers in the parking lot. I hit the gas a little. She said,
"Stop the car."
I said, "Almost there." She said,
"Stop the fucking car."
Her voice changed, completely, from calm to something else, something hard, dangerous. I didn't stop. I pulled into the police station parking lot, hit the brakes, and got out of the car so fast I left the door open. I ran toward the entrance, yelling. 2 officers came out. I pointed at the car, told them everything, the texts, the knife, the way she looked at me. They approached the car slowly, guns drawn, told her to get out. She got out, calm, smiling that little smile. They searched her bag. There was a knife, a big one, kitchen knife, the kind You don't carry in a purse unless you mean to use it. They arrested her, took her in. I gave my statement, sat in the station for 2 hours, answered every question they had. Later, they told me the whole story. The guy who booked the ride, her boyfriend, had broken up with her that morning. She'd taken his phone, installed tracking software, and spent the whole day following him. When he went out that night, she used his account to book a ride to the same club, watched him from across the street. Then she called the Uber for herself, using his phone, and got in my car. His phone was still at home, on his computer, streaming my car's location. He could see everything, hear everything through the microphone. He watched the whole thing unfold from his bedroom, texting a stranger, begging him to save his ex-girlfriend from herself. Or from him, he didn't even know anymore. They charged her with stalking, possession of a weapon, attempted kidnapping. I don't even remember all of it. The boyfriend and I testified. She's awaiting trial now. I still drive nights. What else am I going to do? It's how I pay my bills. But I check my texts at every red light. Every single one. And if a passenger stares at me in the mirror a little too long, if they smile a little too slow, I drive straight to the nearest police station. Because you never know who's in your back seat, you never know what's on the other end of those texts, and you never ever know what someone is capable of until the moment they decide to show you. The driver who wouldn't stop. My girlfriend Yuki and I were out with friends in Phoenix that night. Nothing special. Couple drinks, good food, just a relaxed Saturday night. Around 1 a.m., we were done and ordered an Uber home. The driver pulled up after a few minutes. Normal guy, nothing unusual. We got in, me in front, Yuki in back, and gave him the address. He nodded and started driving. First few minutes were normal, then something changed. He started speeding, not just a little, a lot. We were on the highway, and suddenly he was weaving between lanes, cutting off other cars, changing lanes without signaling. I looked at the speedometer, 100 miles per hour, on a regular city freeway. I said, "Hey, you okay? No need to rush." He didn't answer, just stared straight ahead. Then it got worse. He took an exit way too fast, way too late, wrenched the wheel, almost hit the guardrail. Yuki screamed in the back. I grabbed the handle above the door and yelled, "Stop! Pull over!" Nothing. He kept going. Faster. We were somewhere I didn't recognize now. No idea where we were. He turned onto a side street, drove up onto the sidewalk. We lifted off our seats as the car slammed over the curb. Yuki was crying in the back. I screamed at him, "Stop the fucking car!" And then finally, he hit the brakes. The car stopped. In the middle of an empty street, surrounded by warehouses and darkness, I got out. My legs were shaking. I walked to his side, wanted to understand what was happening, wanted to tell him how messed up this was, but before I could say anything, he turned his head to me, and he said something I'll never forget.
"I'm having a bad day, so everybody's gonna have a bad day."
Then he hit the gas. I jumped back. He would have hit me otherwise. The car sped off, taillights disappearing into the dark. Yuki had already dialed 911. We stood there, 30 miles from home, in the middle of the night, trying to explain to the dispatcher what just happened. They didn't find him that night, but the next day, we found out the rest of the story. The same driver, just minutes after he dropped us off, picked up another woman. Her name was Eva. She got in, clueless, and went through the exact same thing, the speeding, the weaving, the ignoring every plea to stop. She said later she looked at the speedometer and saw 100 miles per hour on the highway in the middle of the night. She survived. She got out. She reported it too. Uber deactivated his account eventually. Too late. After he'd done 2 trips with people who feared for their lives. After he'd told us that we'd all suffer because he was having a bad day. I haven't taken an Uber since. Not once. I know most drivers are normal people just doing their job, but every time I see a car with a sticker, I think about that line.
"I'm having a bad day, so everybody's gonna have a bad day."
Some people don't mean it when they say stuff like that. Some people say it when they're stuck in traffic or when their coffee spills. But some people say it and then they show you what it really means. I hope you never meet someone like him. But if you do, get out. No matter where, no matter how. Just get out. The ski mask. I've been driving for Uber for about 4 years. Mostly nights, mostly in South Florida. You get a feel for the area. Boynton Beach, West Palm, Riviera Beach. I know every street, every shortcut, every gas station that's actually open at 3 a.m. It's not a bad gig. You meet people. You hear stories. Most nights are boring, and boring is good. Boring means safe. January 15th started out boring. It was around 11 p.m. I got a ping near the Catalina Center, a shopping plaza, nothing special. I pulled up, waited for the passenger. A guy walked toward the car, black clothes, hood up, nothing unusual for a cool night. Then he got in, and that's when I felt it. Something hard pressed into my lower back, right through the seat. I looked down, a gun, silver, the kind of metal that catches light even in the dark. He said,
"Cancel the ride. Don't say a word."
I canceled. My hands were shaking, but I canceled. What else was I supposed to do? Then he called someone. A woman. She got in too. Young, maybe early 20s. She sat in the back like nothing was wrong, like this was just a normal pickup. The guy with the gun said,
"Drive."
So I drove. For the next 2 hours, I drove those two around West Palm Beach and Riviera Beach. He kept the gun on me the whole time, not pressing it, but I could see it in my peripheral vision, just resting on his leg. Pointed my way. They made me stop at ATMs. Lots of them. The woman would get out, try to withdraw cash using credit cards. Some worked, some didn't. I don't know how many cards they had. I don't know whose they were. I just sat there, with a gun in my car, and waited. At one point, we were on I-95, traffic all around us, people going home, going to work, going about their normal lives. No one knew that in one of those cars, a guy was sitting in the back with a gun, telling me where to go, what to do. I thought about stopping, jumping out at a red light, doing something, but every time I thought about it, I remembered that gun, and I remembered what he said when we started.
"Drive. Don't be stupid."
So I drove. After almost 2 hours, they told me to head back to Boynton Beach, same area where they got in. They had me pull over near Gateway Boulevard. The guy said,
"Stop here."
I stopped. He looked at me for a long second. Then he opened the door. They both got out, and just like that, they were gone. Walking into the dark, like they'd never been there. I sat in my car for maybe 5 minutes, just breathing, just trying to understand what just happened. Then I drove straight to the Boynton Beach Police Department and walked into the lobby. I told them everything. The guy in black, the gun, the woman, the ATMs, the 2 hours of driving while someone held a gun on me. They took it seriously. Detectives from the major case unit got involved. Digital forensics. They pulled camera footage, tracked the ATMs, followed the evidence. They found them a couple days later. Isaiah Thurston, 20, Jacaria Riley, 24. Sitting at a picnic table near a Courtyard Marriott like nothing happened. Like they hadn't held a gun on a stranger for 2 hours. They're in jail now. Kidnapping charges, armed robbery, possession, violation of probation. The list goes on. I'm still driving. What else am I going to do? It's how I pay my bills. But I check every passenger now, really check them. If something feels off, I cancel. I don't care about the rating. I don't care about the money. I just drive away because I learned something that night. Something I hope you never have to learn. It doesn't matter how well you know the streets. It doesn't matter how long you've been driving. All it takes is one ride, one person, one moment when you look in the rear view and see something that shouldn't be there. I got lucky. I got out. I went home that night. But every time I pick someone up near the Catalina Center, every time I see a guy in a hoodie walking toward my car, my heart does this thing. This skip. This pause. And I think about that gun, that silver metal in the dark, and I drive. What do you think? Which of these stories gave you chills? Was there a moment that made your skin crawl? Let me know in the comments. Thanks for listening tonight. If you want to stay updated whenever a new story drops, make sure to hit that follow button. Because you never know when danger comes. But I'll be here to warn you. Stay cautious, stay safe out there, and I'll see you in the next video.